I'm going to let you take a quick breather there so that we can bring our viewers some information on the breaking news story that we also have. The presidency issuing a statement a short while ago saying that President Cyril Ramaphosa will tomorrow deliver the eulogy at the special official funeral of the late His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini. His Majesty the King passed away in the early hours of Friday, the 12th of March, after an extended illness. President Ramaphosa honored His Majesty the King by according him a special official funeral category 1. This category entails ceremonial elements provided by the South African National Defence Force. The President has also authorized the national flag be flown at half-mast at every flag station in the country from the morning of Saturday, the 13th of March 2021 until the evening of the funeral service. The funeral service, memorial, I should say, will be broadcast on major broadcasters, including eNCA. That's tomorrow. But, of course, we know that tonight, from midnight till around 3 o'clock in the morning, we will actually have the private ceremony taking place with only men attending. And this, of course, is for the planting of the late Amazulu King Goodwill Zwelithini. Let's bring in Tuba Vilane and go back to Siphamandla's visuals if we can. So, Tuba, of course, we are seeing that procession make its way closer to the Royal Palace. Siphamandla says it's about 10 minutes away normally, but it'll take a bit longer given the slow pace at which it's moving. You have been speaking to so many people who've come to pay tribute. When this remains of the late king finally arrives, what happens then at the Royal Palace?
Shahan, maybe I can move out of the shot so that you'll be able to see what is happening here. There was a marquee that was here. That marquee has since been moved and shifted at the back. And we've seen in the past few minutes, we've seen senior princes and the senior royal family members coming out of the royal palace. And it's an indication that they have received the word that the procession of the entourage that is carrying the remains of the departed king has left the mortuary. So they are trying to clear up this area as we understand that. But we were told, Shahan, that there will be some rituals as well that will be performed here just before the remains entered the palace. After that, the king will be here at the palace until midnight, where we understand that later on, between midnight and early hours of this morning, that's when the king will be planted. There will be also another procession that will be moving from here in the early hours, and that procession is very unlikely that members of the media or anyone that will be allowed to film that, because that's where the private ceremony would have begun. Because at the mortuary, at the cemetery, that's where the close family members will gather to have a private planting of the king. We are told that that's what a king wanted. We understand that it's going to be male only, and some members of Amabutho, who are people who have been very closely to the king during his reigning period. As you understand, that I had my colleague Siphamandla Koke saying they are the one that are also escorting the coffin as they move from the mortuary coming to here at Waketo Mthandai. But beside that, Shahan, coming back to your question, yes, indeed, we've been getting reaction from those dignitaries that have been coming here to pay their respect to the departed king. Not only people coming from the province of KwaZulu-Natal or South Africa, but they are coming all over the continent. We have seen the delegation from Zimbabwe, a delegation from Malawi, and those people, all of them, they are singing the same song, that the country or the world has lost one of its best leader, a person who had always put his life to ensure that his people are developed. People, especially on the issue of health as well as education. As you'll understand, Shahan, that the king has been very much key on the issue of health. That's why we had programs such as the circumcision, which were revived by the king, as well as the programs such as the virginity testing, where young girls are being tested and being mentored to stay away from sexual activities before they're getting married. So people are saying all of things, but all of them is good praises by the king. Maybe I will ask my colleague Nkanyiso if maybe he'll be able to show at the main gate so that you will see those are senior princes of the royal family. Also, again, trying to clear up this area so that when the entourage that is carrying the remains of the king arrives here, there will not be any disturbances. They will be able to move freely as they will be entering the home of the king, which is actually very important, as my colleague was trying to explain about the importance of this palace, as we understand that that's where his father also lived, and that's where the main queen, or the first queen, lives as well. The ceremony, Shahan, a few months ago, of the funeral of the king's first son, elder son, Ulethu Tula, was also held here, and this is where many traditional rituals of the king are being performed.